Hi, I'm Kizzie Jones, and today I'd like to share my third tall tale, a tall tale about dachshunds in costumes, how more dogs came to be. But today I'd like to begin by reading the glossary, because in the story there are many different terms for the different kinds of dachshunds, the different vegetation in the Pacific Northwest, and new dogs. And I thought if we reviewed the glossary, you might recognize the terms when we hear the story. First thing I'd like to point out is dachshunds. There are three kinds of dachshunds: short hair, long hair, and wire hair. They come in many colors: black and cream, black and tan, brown, chocolate, red, wheaten. And they also have special markings. A brindle is a tiger-striped or patchy pattern, usually in gold, brown, and earth tones. A dapple is a patchwork pattern of markings. Some are lighter in some areas, intermingled with darker areas or spots. And a piebald is a pattern consisting of different areas of distinct colors, such as a solid patch of black, red, or tan over a white base coat. And you'll hear about those terms in the story. Also, there will be new dogs in the story. Many of these dogs you will recognize from your neighbors, or maybe you own one of these dogs. There's a poodle, golden retriever, a schnauzer, French bulldog, Labrador, Afghan hound, border collie, and a Yorkshire terrier, often called a Yorkie. And then we have some unique foliage here, unique vegetation in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. We have the western hemlock, a large evergreen tree that can grow very, very tall. It has a narrow, droopy top, down-sweeping branches, and delicate feathery needles. Cauliflower mushrooms. These cauliflower-shaped mushrooms grow up to 12 inches wide and are tinted white to yellow-brown. They appear in the late summer, fall, and grow singly or in small groups on the ground near the base of fir trees. The vine maple. This small deciduous tree is native to the Pacific Northwest. It usually grows to a height of 15 to 25 feet. It often grows under conifers. Its bright green leaves change in the fall to shades of yellow and red. The Pacific golden chanterelle. These funnel-shaped edible mushrooms are native to the Pacific Northwest. They flourish on the ground in forests under western hemlocks and Douglas fir trees. Pearly everlasting. These common perennial native plant in the sunflower family favors rocky slopes, open forests, clearings, meadows, roadsides. The name comes from the pearly white flowers that retain their color and shape when dried, making attractive bouquets. Pearly everlasting blooms in midsummer, and its flowers last until the snows of winter. It was used by the native peoples for medicinal treatments. Queen Anne's lace. Queen Anne's lace is a white flowering plant in the carrot family. Native to Europe, it was cultivated in North America by European settlers. Evergreen huckleberry. Evergreen huckleberry produces shiny, deep purple, black sweet edible berries in late fall. This is a native plant in the Pacific Northwest and can grow 6 feet tall. Slough sedge. Slough rhymes with blue and is a creek or river which flows into a tidal flat or marsh. This grass-like plant 2 to 6 feet, is found in wet meadows, sloughs, shoreline, and wooded wetlands in the Pacific Northwest. It has long, droopy flower heads, April through July, followed by glossy brown fruit that generally lasts through the winter. Kelp. Kelp are tasty edible seaweeds, which have long, wavy, leaf-like fronds. These are located on tube-like stems, which are anchored to the ocean floor. Gas-filled bladders at the base of the fronds keep them close to the surface. Wax paper lichen. This complex organism made of both algae and fungi is usually found on trees and rocks. And please note that all the vegetation that the dogs and the little girl uses are things that were damaged in a storm. We would never want to go pick a living, healthy plant. So let's read our story. "'Twas once long ago by a magical sea, a girl and her dachshund friends loved to run free. On the beach they'd explore, they would jump and they'd play. They happily romped until one autumn day. The sky grew so dark and the wind blew so strong. Under clouds threatening rain, the dogs hurried along. But the rain couldn't wait even 1 minute more, for the clouds opened up and it started to pour. They ran for the warmth of their safe bungalow. To our home, to our home, to our home we will go. The wind thrashed the tree boughs up hillsides and down. The wind stirred up whitecaps and surfing the sound. Now safely at home, they looked out at the storm. Now safely at home, they slept through the storm. They woke to the sunshine so bright and so warm. Let's clean up the mess made by yesterday's storm. Having raked up some grasses, the girl was outside. Look here, I'm a scarecrow, she joyfully cried. With gusto, the dogs barked. What fun that would be. We'll dress up in costumes. Let's use what we see. In the woods near the shore, they found branches galore, making stilts to be taller than ever before. The dachshunds on stilts spied the dogs on the ground, with their costumes of greenery wrapped all around. Then quickly the dapple a costume had found. Bits of cauliflower mushrooms were wreathed all around. At the park, eager dogs jumped a maple leaf pile. A red dachshund and leaves made the little girl smile. With sprinkles of chanterelle mushrooms arranged, the eyebrows and coat of the brindle had changed. A piebald wore white, pearly, everlasting flowers. To add a nice touch, she then covered her face with a nosegay she made from some fine Queen Anne's lace. A black and tan short-haired ate wild fruit with glee, while he romped through huckleberries down by the sea. Near the shore played a dachshund, a silver and gray, sporting sedges and grasses, a lavish display. A cream long-haired dachshund had not needed help to play on the seashore and dress up in kelp. As they headed home, a wire-haired with blonde locks adorned them with lichen that grew on the rocks. At home, the dogs asked the kind girl what she thought. If we stay in our costumes, would you be distraught? Then she wondered and questioned. Would you still be you? Would you have to change on the inside then too? After pausing to think, the dogs wisely replied, we'd be changed and transformed. We'd be different outside. Yet inside our hearts are still caring and kind. Our nature remains, for we are so inclined. As she looked out the window at waves on the shore, the dogs in their costumes heard her implore. Can you help, my dear friends, or you magical sea? Can you help them become the dogs they want to be? In deep sleep that night, the girl's plea was then heard. The answer to the dreams of the Dachshunds occurred. The magical sea and love's power held sway. Yes, their hope was affirmed to stay dressed up that way. At sunrise, the changes at last were complete. The dogs were transformed. What a wonderful feat! The new dogs strolled everywhere, uphill and down, through all of the streets of their marvelous town. While eating her strudel, a woman looked up. She said, I'll name you Poodle. You're such a fine pup. A family was playing and threw out a ball. One dog brought it back from where she saw it fall. A retriever, pure gold. The kids were so polite. Can we keep her as ours every day, every night? A shopkeeper looked at a perky-faced hound. Your name will be Schnauzer. You'll greet all around. You'll star in my blog, said a writer in haste. I'll name you French Bulldog. What a cute little face. A man with low vision found what he'd longed for. Your name's Labrador. Come, you can help me explore. A young girl in 4-H was walking about. She spied a great dog and then gave a loud shout. You'll win a blue ribbon at next year's state fair. I'll name you Afghan Hound. You've such beautiful hair. A rancher exclaimed, golly, you would I keep as my border collie. Please come herd my sheep. A truck driver hauling some freight across the land said, I'll name you Yorkie. Good buddy, you're grand. The girl then walked home with the dogs that remained. 3 dachshunds had stayed. What memories they'd gained. The sea did its magic. The girl was so thrilled. Would the dogs change too much? All her worries were stilled. 'Twas the wisdom she heard from the dogs at the start, that no matter their color, their shape, or their size, it is love that resides in each creature's heart. I also want to give a great appreciation to artist Scott Ward for his amazing illustrations. Thanks for joining me today. We'll read together again soon. Bye now.